Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how I get a flawless base and basically my whole foundation routine and just how to get a flawless base. So if you want to see how I achieve my skin looking so good, then just keep on watching. Right, the first thing that's really important is moisturizing. So I do use the Pond's dry skin cream. As you can see, it's empty. I've been using this for years. Like, I don't use anything else other than this cream. So you always want to make sure you moisturize, and also depends on your skin type. So me, I'm kind of normal. It depends. Sometimes I'm really oily, sometimes it's just normal, sometimes I'm dry but not that dry. And also using eye cream. This is the Origins Ginseng eye cream, and as you can see, it's a little damaged, but eye cream is so important, especially if you do makeup, because you don't want it to look dry under there. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime, and I'm going to be using the Origins Original Skin Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer with Willow Herb. And this primer I've been using for about 2 months, and it's really good. So it's a mousse consistency, so you want to shake it up first. Make sure your hands are clean. I did just wash my hands, so I'm just going to spray some all over my hand, and I'm going to like kind of push this into the skin. And the reason why I like to push this into the skin is to make sure that the product is really being distributed into my skin so that it does work. But I do like this primer. I like the finish that it gives, and it looks really nice. So I like to give it about a minute just to set into my skin. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and this is in the shade Warm Nude. I love this foundation. This is like the only full like high-end foundation that I like. It's very buildable, and that's why I love it so much. So I'm going to be using this today, and I'm going to shake it up. Always shake up your products, because you want to make sure everything that's in the product is mixed together. Just going to pump about 2 pumps in the back of my hands, and then I'm going to be taking a clean, damp beauty blender. It's not clean at the tip because I did use it for like my eyes and stuff, but make sure you always use a clean beauty blender, because when you have old makeup buildup, it kind of doesn't give you a nice flawless coverage. So make sure you clean your beauty blender. So I'm going to be taking this foundation and taking a foundation brush and just distributing it all over the skin. I try not to touch my face if I don't need to, because I feel like that's what makes me break out. So try to use like a brush for everything. I'm just gonna pick up the rest on the bottom of the blender and start to blend this out. Make sure you always get into these little crevices by the nose. Make sure you always get into your hairline as well. So I feel like I want a little bit more coverage, so I'm gonna do 1 full pump of the foundation. Make sure you always get this neck as well. Next, I'm going to be going in with the Too Faced Born This Way Multi Sculpting Concealer. This is in the shade Vanilla, and I really love this concealer. And I think I love it so much because it's very full coverage and it's hydrating. It's not dry. So I think that's why I love it so much. So I'm just going to apply this first. And I'm also highlighting as well. And on top of that, I'm going to be taking the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair 06. Just so it gives me a little more of a brighter coverage, because that concealer is a little bit more yellow, and I just want like a little full coverage. And I think I want to put a little bit here and also my nose, because I do like my nose to be in here. Just a little bit there too. And here, I guess we'll just put it everywhere we highlight it. and also on the sides. I have a trick, and what I do is I like to wait till my concealer is a little bit dried down, because I notice I feel like I get a more fuller coverage that way. I give it about 30 seconds to dry down, and then I start to blend it out. So I'm going to start to blend this out. The trick with concealer is I like to look up, so I make like this crazy face and I look all the way up to really make sure I get this concealer blended out. So now that our concealer is blended out, we are going to set, and I'm going to be using the Hourglass Veil setting powder, and I love this powder. It's just really good, and I'm just going to set under my eyes. So first, make sure you get all those creases out, because you don't want to set those creases. Then you're gonna grab the powder and set. I like to bake under my eyes because I feel like I get a better result. And then I also bake everywhere else that I added that concealer. So for the rest of my face, I just grab a little bit of this powder, and I'm not going to bake it, I'm just going to lightly set all over. Also make sure you bake the sides of your nose so you don't have creasing. I like to let this sit in for about 2 minutes. When I dust off my baking powder, I don't swipe it off because I feel like I'm losing my coverage and all that. So I do like to pat it into the skin like this. And I also like to bring like that leftover powder on my neck. We did put foundation on our neck, so you want to make sure that you set that. So I am going to be leaving that under eye powder for a little bit longer while I bronze. I'm going to bronze up. So first I'm going to be taking my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. When I bronze, I have a different way than others. I like to dip into the product. I like to pat into my skin with my bronzer, then swirling around, because I feel like I have more control of the bronzer this way, and it doesn't move my foundation. I feel like previous ways when I would do my bronzer, I just feel like I look like I was missing makeup there. So this is my new technique, so I like to do this. So for my jawline, I do just like lightly brush it across. I am going to be going in with the Hoola Benefit Bronzer. This bronzer is definitely my favorite bronzer of all time. I feel like it gives you like that nice bronze effect, which I really love. The Too Faced one is a little too light for me. I feel like that's more if you want to have like just a light coverage, but I like to have my bronzers out there. So I'm going to be dipping into this bronzer, but this bronzer is very pigmented, so you want to go light-handed. So I'm going to be taking this bronzer right over the Too Faced one. I don't know if you guys see a difference, but I definitely love it. Lastly, for bronzer, I'm taking this Laura Mercier Face Illuminator, and this is in the shade Impulse. And I do use this over my bronzers because it does have like more of a dark sheen to it. So I'm just going to lightly dip into this and apply this over. I don't know if you guys can see like that little sheen that it gave me. Kind of, probably not, but I really love that sheen that it gives. We're gonna dust off this baking powder. Now we're going to move on to blush. So I'm going to be taking this Anastasia Blush Trio, and in the shade Pool Party. I'm going with the color Blank, which is this one right here. Guess what? I found this in Marshall's for $10. And how much is it originally? Like $30? Look at that. So I'm going to dip into that and apply this to the apples of my cheeks. Also, I like to bring it a little bit on my forehead as well, because we get like that nice flush of color. So before we do anything else, I like to take my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and I'm going to shake this up. It's a really good setting mist, and it's only $15. So I'm going to spray this all over my face. What setting spray does is locks in all of the makeup you put on. Also diffuses the powder so you don't look powdery. I almost forgot that I need to cut this contour. I like to let this sit in for about 30 seconds. So now that we're done baking our contour, I'm just going to dust this off. Again, I'm going to be setting my face. So for highlighter today, I'm going to be going in with the Fenty Beauty in Hustler Baby, as well as the Becca Cosmetics in Champagne Pop, which is so cute. Look at these minis. Look how cute that is. But first, I'm going to be going over top with the Fenty Beauty. When I apply my highlighters, I pat into the highlighter like this. And then I pat on the highlighter. I don't like to rub it on because I noticed that when I rub it on, I feel like it just takes away the makeup. So I'm just going to pat this on. I also like to hit the apples of my cheeks so that when I smile, you see that. And also hit the top of the brow. Then over top that with the Champagne Pop, using the same techniques. And then with the nose highlight, I like to take this small Morphe M421 brush, and I'm going to apply the highlighter to the tip of my nose and also the bridge. Then one last time, I'm going to spray. This is the end result of the makeup look. I really love it, and I hope that these techniques help for you. They definitely help for me. As I started to do makeup, I started to do different things, and I found that this is the best way for me. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So hit that bell notification so that you are notified every time I upload. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.